Hi, I'm Andrew Martin. I am the group publisher at cybersecurityasian.com, and I'm here at Singapore Tech Week. I'm very pleased to have with me Jan Sysmans from a company called Appdome, who today, anyway, is the mobile app security evangelist.
That is correct, yes.
But maybe on other days he may have other titles, but today that's what he is. But really pleased to have you with us. Before I go into asking you a few questions around, specifics of mobile app security, maybe you can tell us just a little bit about Appdome.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, Andrew, thank you very, very much for inviting us. So Appdome is a mobile app defense solution. On Appdome, customers, typically large brands around the world, they come to Appdome to protect their mobile apps from any type of cyber threats, mobile fraud, mobile malware, mobile cheats, mobile bot defense. So be able to build a security model specifically to their current needs and then version that security model to address upcoming and new threats down the road as well. It's a no-code solution, no SDK required. As I like to say, what makes it very easy for the developers, because they don't have to make any changes to how they build apps today, but it gives the cyber team full management, visibility, and control over the security model. And again, the developers don't have to do any work.
Okay, which is excellent because developers don't want to be security guys, generally speaking.
Exactly.
Okay, so we got an idea, like high level, what you do. So I guess a very pertinent question is, it's somewhat rhetorical, but I want to see your view on it. But in your perspective, do you feel that companies generally allocate enough resources and attention to mobile app security, or do you feel they're overlooking it somewhat?
That is a very, very good question, Andrew. And it is something that we see with our customers around the world. Unfortunately, they are overlooking it a little bit.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is very, very, there's multiple reasons for that. But let me go back to one of the core elements we see. Lots of companies are still looking at cybersecurity as a network edge requirement. Let's protect the edge, let's protect our network against threats coming from the outside.
Yeah.
But so Appdome, we do a global survey on the expectations that mobile consumers have around mobile app security. And what we found is that overwhelmingly, and we're talking right now, over almost close to 60% of consumers are preferring mobile apps over web applications.
Yeah.
So if a brand wants to be cyber resilient, the brand needs to invest its cyber resources where their customers are. And so if you believe that your customers are coming from web apps and not from mobile, then you should invest in web apps, in web security.
Yeah.
The reality, however, is that almost 60% of consumers around the world are preferring mobile apps over web apps to engage with brands.
Yeah.
And so for a brand to be fully cyber resilient, its cyber investments should come where their customers and where their revenue is coming from.
I agree with that, and I've read a lot about this kind of thing, and I think even at this point, the security element of an app is part of the total customer experience now,
Absolutely.
right?
Yeah.
So can you give us some examples then of, say, mishaps and missteps that you've seen or observed in mobile app development? So I guess when you start working with a customer, the kind of mistakes that you've seen them make or problems that you've seen that you guys then come in and solve. And maybe if you can, give us some idea of some of the consequences of some of the errors that you do come across.
So I want to point back to two comments you've made just now. The first comment you've made was that developers don't want to be security people.
Generally speaking,
Generally speaking, correct. The second element you just made is that developers are all focused on the customer experience. Okay. So if you think about that, as a developer, I don't want to say I don't care about security, but as a developer, security is not what you are focused on. You are focused on creating amazing consumer experiences. Cyber teams are looking at compliance. And so when a cyber team comes in, they'll say, oh, we need to comply with these and these and these and these and these things. And in order to do that, developers, I need you to implement these security tools. What we've seen, and this is data that we see from our customers and prospects that we talk to. The cyber teams, in many cases, don't really know the security that's in the app. They may have gone to the developers and say, we need you to build these and these and these protections in the app. And then they go away. And then they have a release and they come back, oh, did you put the protections in the app? Yes, we did. Well, how can you prove that? Now we have to do another pen test, or we have to do this or that.
Yeah.
Okay, can we get a waiver? Because we need the app out into production. So it's that conflict that exists, where the requirements of the cyber team and the expectations of the cyber team are around compliance.
Yeah.
And the things that the developers are focused on is around building amazing user experiences. And as long as the cyber team sticks with compliance and does not get on the same page as the developers and uses the same developer best practices when it comes down to implementing security, you're always going to see that conflict. Okay? So one of the key things with Appdome, as I said earlier, is that with Appdome, cyber teams can focus on building the security model. They have control, visibility over that. And then the dev team, all have to do is, within their existing DevOps workflows, invoke another API call to Appdome and build the right protections into the app. Again, no work required for them.
And does that then also mean, because you were mentioning then about, because of things like time pressures and getting the app out, sometimes you get granted a waiver. But if they're working with you guys, does that mean that the security team have much better visibility of whether the security has been built into the application?
Exactly. Exactly. So with Appdome, with each build, the cyber team gets or the developers, if they want to have access to it, they get what we call an artifact of proof. Okay? Certified Secure is a artifact of proof that is provided build by build, release by release to the cyber team, to the developer team, so that there's no more guessing, there's no more pointing fingers. It's very clear. Here is a certificate, certified secure certificate, an artifact of proof that demonstrates exactly the protections that are in the app. So what you get with Appdome, you get a security system of record that provides audit capabilities to everybody in the organization to look back and say, okay, well, 6 months ago, what protections did we have in the app? Oh, let's look at the certified secure certificate. We did it in that. Well, how did that change now from where we are today? Well, where we are today is we needed XYZ additional features in there. We, the cyber team, built that into the security model, and you, dev team, all you did was invoke an API in your CI/CD pipeline, and there it is.
Cool.
The protections are in the app.
And that all happens without necessarily slowing down the release dates.
It actually fastens the release stage, because this entire roadblock that existed, this entire unnecessary work that was required at the release meeting. Well, did you put this in there? Did you put that in there? Well, we don't know. You need to go.
They've already got it.
Everything is there. It's a simple certificate. So what we see with our customers at the release meeting, they come back and they ask the dev team, hey, do you have the certified secure certificate? Yeah, here it is. Oh, okay, you put in the right security solution. Yep, it actually looks, see, we version it. We follow developer best practices for security. We version the security model. Here's the latest version. It's there, all of the protections are in there. Here's the certificates from our vendor. They actually go one step further, our customers. Because the one thing I told you earlier, cyber is all about compliance, no? Compliance with an internal regulation or with an external government regulation. Our customers are now using that artifact of proof, that certified secure certificate, to go back to their regulator and say, hey, look, here's a document from our vendor.
Audit path,
Here's everything that is in there, all of the protections that are in there. So it makes it really, really easy. It makes it very simple for everybody involved. There's no more pointing fingers. There's no more asking the awkward question. It is, did you put in the right security model? Yeah, here's a certified secure certificate. Great. Bless the release for release to production. That's it.
Excellent. Okay, so seeing as you are an evangelist, I couldn't get away without asking you about the future. So what is it that people have got to look out for when it comes to cyber threats on mobile apps as we look into the future?
Yeah, that's a scary future.
Okay, so
Scary future in a way. If you look at generative AI,
yeah,
generative AI makes it so much easier to build malware.
yeah,
And so for the longest time, cyber teams had one saving grace. Building malware was actually hard. But the problem with generative AI is that it becomes easier and easier. And so we talk about the exploit economy. What is the exploit economy? The exploit economy are people with malicious intent who build malware to defraud users and to defraud brands. And within the exploit economy, there's two groups. There's the people that build, and there's the people that execute. So I build malware, I sell it on the dark web for, I don't know, whatever currency that I want. And then as somebody that runs the exploit, is you create a Trojan, you publish a Trojan somewhere, that Trojan gets distributed through many different ways, and it's automated.
yeah.
I mean, once it is in the wild, it just keeps on running.
Just going on, yeah.
And that is the scary part, is that the threats landscape is ever evolving.
Yeah, it's getting, because it's easier to do, it's getting wider.
And so
Yeah.
how do you as a brand now respond to that? The only way that you can respond to that is by having real-time threat intelligence to be able to see all the threats and attacks against your app
Yeah,
in production, and then be able to very easily and quickly version your security model, again, without the development team having to do any work, version your security model so you can build protections against those threats before they can be launched at scale.
yeah, it is a very daunting future, but it's been really fascinating. Love speaking to you. I think I've learnt a lot through this conversation.
Excellent, excellent.
So
Thank you.
hope you enjoy the rest of Tech Week Asia. And Jans, once again,
Andrew,
thanks so much.
Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.